in the chat. We have a big group tonight. I'm expecting more people. We have 30 slides. So I am going to turn on the timer, and I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut so that we can enjoy all of the photos and not get out of here too late. And while I'm setting up here, does anyone have anything they'd like to share with the group? 3D movies, photo
Yeah,
opportunities?
I
Yes, Steve,
I
take it away.
saw Tron Ares has got some great 3D effects. I also saw Predator Badlands, and I wasn't a big fan of the original Predator movie, but I really liked this one. It's actually got some heart, some humor, some really nice 3D effects. When he pulls the sword out, pulls it out toward the camera, and it's a glowing, glowing red sword. I also have some news about Affinity.
That's
It's
right. Take it away. Yes.
it's free now. It was bought by Canva, and Canva's a part of the package. It comes with all the parts, like it has a vector-based drawing program, which basically like Adobe Design. Um, if that's what it's called, I can't remember. Um, what they've done is have a subscription to use their AI tools, which I don't use at all. So you can get basically what I have, and I paid, I think, around uh, $30-40 for. Now you can get that for free.
That was on my list of announcements.
Yeah, and I haven't tried it yet. I'm still using the original version. I just haven't, gone to the trouble of loading. And it sounds different. So, I didn't, kind of got comfortable with it. I don't know if I'm anxious to learn. I will soon.
Some stuff changes. Some stuff that you have to look it for. I have been using it for about 2 or 3 days because I have to do some vector work, but it's a really good one. You can jump from photo to vector and also to publishing, and it's really nice. I like it.
All right. Well, I'll definitely put it closer to my to-do list.
I just put a link in the chat to the Affinity website. I think I'm probably going to switch myself because I'm finding Photoshop 2026's AI tools to be completely useless for my needs, and I don't really want to pay for them. I also want to give a shout out to Jay, who a month or two ago mentioned Photop, which is a web-based Photoshop clone, and it's very slow, but it works and it looks just like Photoshop. So I want to put that on the chat too. Maybe not as a primary photo editor, but for the price, you can't miss it. Can't beat
You
it.
should try it. Try on your Windows machine. Might be an issue with the machine.
Good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know. Welcome, Brian. Great to have you back. We remember Brian from a couple months ago. Let's go ahead and get started. We're still waiting on a few people, but as I said, we have a lot of slides tonight. We're going to start off with one by Jay, which is not a part of the regular slideshow. It's a workshop. Let me share my screen and we'll get this show started. And I usually get it wrong the first time, so let's see what comes up here. Okay, great. Looks like I got it right. We've got all the streams active. You should be looking at the title slide now, and let's take a look at, and let me get the title here. Here we go. This is a long exposure test. I have some notes from Jay, but Jay, why don't you tell us about this image?
Well, until my battery ran out, I thought I could make a picture for this week's entry. This is using Willem's new camera app for the room, which lets you do a 3.8 second long exposure. So I was trying to get motion in the long exposure. So just proof of concept. And it was pretty dark, so you could see how the long exposure that you really bring out the details. It doesn't do alignment, so you have to bring it through Stereo Photo Maker. And it does a side-by-side, not the weird JPEG format that Layer has. And that was it. Just showing off a new tool we have.
Yeah, looks successful to me.
Yeah, exposure looks fine. Got motion there for sure.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah,
the new the camera app specific for the LoomPad 2. And did you also use the Bluetooth remote shutter release to capture this? Are you the one firing the shutter?
Well, yeah, this camera app does let you use a Bluetooth shutter directly, so you didn't have to use my hack. And yeah, that's, before I started walking, I clicked the exposure.
All
Looks
right.
like there's a slight difference in the exposure between the left and the right eye. Is that
Yeah, definitely could be. I don't know if it's an app, if it's something that Layer compensates for in their calibration. And I probably could have used Stereo Photo Maker to match the colors exposure.
well, I have that problem a lot with because I use dual cameras and it's always kind of touchy if they don't get the same exposure. It makes things harder.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jay. This looks very promising, and I'm looking forward to trying it myself. And I mean, frankly, I think you should have entered this in tonight's action special topic. I think it's really effective. You've got some unusual light happening there, but hey, to each his own. I'm looking forward to what you do with it next.
Thanks.
Now, I am going to try to remember to run the timer for each image, where I'm going to try to keep the comments down to 3 minutes per photo so that we're not here all night, given the size of our slideshow. We're going to start with one by me, if I can get this to work. There we go. Tonight's special, of course, is action, and this is my one action shot for tonight. The title is BMX Bike Show, and I took this with my Sony RX2Os maybe 2 months ago now at the Solano Stroll. No, I'm sorry, the El Sobrante Stroll in my neighborhood. And I think it's got plenty of action.
Yeah, it's got action for sure. It's a great moment. Those people in the lower left really make it.
Yeah, I wish they were actually looking at the bike.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess they're not, are they?
It's like it happens every day to them.
There were people actually looking at it outside of the frame. I cropped this pretty tight.
There are people on the right that are looking at it for sure, but yeah, they're pretty small.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the focus is on this floating bike.
Mhm.
All right, let's move forward. Let's see, let me figure out this timer here. Oh, I did something. Hang on. There we go. Okay, got it. So our next photo, I think we'll come back to. Some of us remember Alfred Young. He dropped by, I think it's been more than a year now, and he does very artistic, sort of illustrated stereo photography. Very interesting. This is Mom, Baby, Backyard. I'd like to come back to this. I'm assuming that he's going to drop by tonight. So let's move forward to the next photo, number 4, by Melinda. Crush Me Cars.
Yeah, so these are these little tourist rental vehicles that people get. They come with radio operated things that tell you about the sites as you pass them. And I don't know, an ex of mine always called them crush me cars or something like that, because they seem to be just pleading for people to crush them. And this was quite a large gaggle of them down on Marina Boulevard. It's an okay composition. I wanted to get them from the front, and I did try to get out there in front of them, but couldn't get there quick enough before they sort of dispersed. So it's kind of tough lighting, not a lot of stereo, and I had to really boost the saturation to bring out the colors at all.
It's good they're all wearing helmets.
Definitely.
Yeah, these death traps are all over the city this time of year.
Oh, and the three-wheelers too, which of course tip over so easily.
I can see how shooting into the light like this, you'd lose a lot of the saturation of those yellow cars, go-cars. Well, thanks, Melinda.
Mm-hmm.
I was just in the Presidio today near your neighborhood and saw plenty of those. And they really pollute too. I mean, they're gas powered. It's ridiculous. Anyway, thank you, Melinda. Let's move on to one by Brian Bailey. Brian, welcome back. This is, the title that I have is AMLS03. Brian, do you want to correct me about that? And
No, that's just my abbreviation. It's short for the American Le Mans Series,
okay.
which is the race class that those cars are in, and '03 is the year. These are shot with a pair of Nikon film cameras. And one of the things I do a lot of is motorsports, and I bring my 3D camera mostly to the pits, but I have taken some action photos with it. And most of the time it gets relatively good synchronization. And these guys are going maybe 60 or 70 miles an hour through the top of the corkscrew at Laguna Seca.
Wow.
Porsche's locking its brakes.
Oh, I thought that was the tires.
Yeah, it's basically when they brake too hard and the wheels lock up, smoke pours off of them, and they usually only do that to avoid an accident.
I'm looking for synchronization errors, and I don't see any. I'd say your synchronization is excellent.
Well, the Nikon cameras I was using, I used them for a long time, starting in the 90s. They have a remote port on them. So I basically made a hand switch that allows the autofocus and everything to operate, and it gives pretty tight synchronization up to about a 250th, tight enough to do flash photography if you need to. And so if you don't go above a 250th, you get a pretty good synchronization, and it's pretty dead on.
All right.
Above that, you're kind of on your own. It's sort of, you start to see, like in the wheel spokes and things like that, you start to see a little bit of error. But if you keep the speeds down, you can get a pretty good sync. Some of the other camera systems I use aren't quite as good, and sometimes you can spot errors.
And it looks like you were panning when you took the shot. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of action.
you have to do that because of relatively low speed. When I'm shooting with just a normal 2D camera, you can take your shutter speeds up to, into the thousands. But the 3D, you can't do that. So you have to kind of follow them. It gives that kind of trailed off effect. One of my other ones shows that even more.
Yeah.
Even though it's done with a digital camera.
Plenty of action in this one. What year would you say you took this? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, this is 03. That's
03.
with the
03,
AMLS 03. That's how I categorize my stuff. Because I have I go to the races and shoot like 20 rolls.
Got it. Well, thanks, Brian. Yeah, we looking forward to showing the rest of these. Let's move on to one by
The only
yes.
issue, there's the guy on the right, and he's cropped in the left. I'm not sure what you would do about it because you don't want to lose more of the car, but that creates a little bit of a problem just because he's in one and not the other.
Yeah, that's actually, he appears more in the left eye view, but in stereo photomaker, after it aligns them, you actually lose more of him. And like you said, if I cropped him out, then I'd lose part of the car. So sort of my call. I've had that issue with other shots, action shots, where things appear in one part of the frame on one eye, but they're not in the same part on the other eye.
Yeah, there might be a way to clone one eye onto the other, and I actually did that in one of my entries tonight.
Yeah, well, some of the new, I use Photoshop all the time, and I was looking at doing that, and I haven't got around to it yet. I got so much other stuff to do. It's like something.
I get you.
I might suggest trying generative fill on some of those. It's come a long way, and it's done remarkably well on some of the stuff that I've run through it.
Would you do that in just one eye, Bob? Fill in the
I try
the
it,
body?
and if it works, it works, and then it usually gives you enough that you could clone it to the other view as well. But I think you could clone this and warp it into shape there. And you might also consider cropping out the bottom to get rid of that shadow area.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just have a little bit to deal with. But I think that figure on the right would be an easy one for generative fill to deal with. Especially if it has if you load up the left and right image, it has the left one to reference.
Yeah, there is a piece of the image left on the left eye. It's just that, like I said, after a stereo photomaker lines them up, has a tendency to lose the edges
Mhm.
during its alignment. These are taken, interocular isn't optimum, but because they're further away than normal, it's less of an issue. It's got almost 125 millimeters of interocular, but it's a 50 millimeter lens taken at a distance. So
Mhm.
it kind of works itself out.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian. Oleg, we've got one by you coming up next. This is man in a Ventura alley exits his car.
Yeah, that's the only action there. Uh, but I like the view. When he opened the door, I thought it's a good time to take a picture.
Yeah, that's action. You've got some really interesting, looks like some bouncing reflected light on the street there.
And very straight lines.
It goes way back to infinity. All right, thank you, Oleg. Coming up next is one by Bob. Yeah, tell us how you made this. Boxers 3 is the title that I have. Is that right, Bob?
Yeah. That was, I believe, shot with my Next 5 rig. Whoops, you can't see it. It's black against here, but yeah, I was shooting some sports stereo for a CD-ROM, and this was a fight that I got to be ringside for. It needs a lot of work, I think, but it was. I thought it was good action. So
That it is, yeah. You took this for a CD-ROM project that would be what, 30 years ago, something like that? I don't want to date you.
Yeah, it was quite a long time ago.
Can you tell us what cameras you were using back then?
This one, oh boy, probably an early pre-RBT by the Miller Brothers X3 pair. Mechanically coupled.
The graininess really makes it look like newsprint or something.
Yeah, it's, I decided the guy's pants are a little problematic there, but no, I turned them into black and white, which I thought was more appropriate.
Boy, what a great opportunity. What a great vantage point to capture this action.
Yeah, his shoe was cut off a bit, so I poked it through the window and recreated the tip of his sneakers there. And I did run it through Topaz for sharpening. But a lot of cloning.
What were some of the problems that you had with it?
Well, there was a lot of noise and, between the ropes and in the background, some light. So it was a lot of going in and trying to match. And I haven't really gotten to the guy's pants yet, which are a little flat.
Well, you only have so much information in a film scan.
Yeah.
Well, remarkable. Very appropriate for tonight, too. Thanks, Bob.
Sure.
Our next photo is by Steve, Abu Simbel street scene.
No, I think that's one is
Oh,
mine.
is that one yours? Oh, I'm sorry. I um I well, I'm sure you'll correct me if I misidentify anymore. Roberto, tell us about Abu Simbel street scene.
Well, this is actually Ghost Among Us, and this was a semi-long shot. It was only 4 seconds, and this was 2 weeks ago. And here in Mexico City, we have a bike ride, and I took my tripod and my QX1s with a 50, well, the 30 millimeters, the thing. No, I took this with 16 millimeters. And actually, I took also my flash. I don't remember if I triggered my flash here, but this was I remember that it was a 4 second shot, and the guy that stood still, it was still for 4 seconds. So I got it still, and all the other riders got on the move.
That was very nice of him.
So Matt, by the way, that's my title. So Roberto, why don't you say what the title of this one is?
Is this Ghost Among Us?
Ghost Among Us.
Anyway, I'm sorry, what?
Ghost Among Us.
Goes. And Matt, is it possible to zoom in? Because it's kind of small on my monitor.
Well, first of all, let me correct my mistake here. Unfortunately, no. You say it's small on your monitor?
It's small.
It's
On
small.
stream too.
It's small. Are you following along on the Zoom chat?
Yes, I'm on Zoom.
Let me see what I can do here. Let's see.
I think the problem is it's got some wide black borders on the sides, so that's probably what's causing the weird scaling.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yes.
looking quite nice on the loom pad too,
Yeah, I
with
think
the
Melinda has
exception of
identified
that
the
one
issue.
white streak in the right chip that could be cloned.
On mine, aspect looks correct. I'm just looking at it on a normal 4K monitor side by side. It's just that the pixel count on the frame is not all the way across, so that's why it has like larger black borders. But the
No, it's good.
window
It's
is
got
good.
it has wide black borders in the
Yeah.
source image.
Yes, I arranged the photos in the format of the guidelines in the site, so I put it inside of I believe it's 3,840 per 1,080.
Yeah,
So,
3840 by
Yep.
Yeah, but you don't need to
it's the
add
formatting.
you don't need to add black. So if that's the proper height, then just let the width be whatever it appears to be. You don't need to add black pixels on the side to make the full width,
okay.
1920 by 1080. You can just make it 1080 high and 1500 wide or whatever it wants to be. And then it'll scale appropriately on the different platforms.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll
Sure.
clarify that in our submittal instructions. It only needs to be one or the other. No more than 3840 pixels wide or no more than 1080 pixels high. But it is displaying full screen on the other streams. I think it's just the Zoom screen share where we're seeing these borders.
Also, a question: does it matter if it's less than both of those numbers in both directions?
No, Stereo Photomaker will still stretch it to fill the whole screen. So you're going to lose a little bit of resolution, but typically it doesn't cause problems.
Good,
But
thanks.
it's best to keep it HD resolution for the best image quality.
All right, but if you don't have that resolution to start with, then the question is, should you upscale it anyway?
Yeah, that's a good
Eh,
question. If you
It
have
sounds like no, you don't need to.
I would say you don't need to, no. I mean, if you have an upscaling app and you want to have some control over it, you certainly can. But if you send it to me and it's less than one of those maximum values, it'll still play in the slideshow fine. And chances are no one will even notice any resolution, any loss of resolution.
Good.
All right. Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you.
Sorry for my title and maker mix-up. I think this is Steve's, and I think this is Abu Simbel Street Scene. Did I get that right?
That is correct.
All right. And I have
Abu
fixed
Simbel
the
is
poll
is
for
in
later.
Egypt, more famous for the giant statues of the pharaohs, and but you know, if you get just a few blocks away from that famous site, there's horse-drawn carriages.
When was this, Steve?
This is about 5 years ago.
Wow.
It's a good
Yeah.
stereo composition. Got a little window violation on the right, but it's not that bad.
Probably.
It got some really nice light too.
Thanks.
You've got some shadows in there.
This, of course, is the W3. It's pretty much all I've got.
Yeah, it looks great. And did you ride one of these, Steve? Do you have a shot from
Yes.
the
Yeah.
okay.
I do, and actually, I think I submitted one a couple of years ago. It's not. I don't know. I kind of like these better. But I do have a picture coming up of me, so you get to see me in a different environment.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thank you.
Alfred, are you here? Have you joined us? I don't think Alfred has arrived yet. I do want to hear from him. He's doing very interesting work here with this, sort of intentional retinal rivalry illustrative style to create a sense of action, sort of a almost an animated effect. But I don't want to describe his work. Let's move on, and when he arrives, we'll come back and hear from the maker. Until then, our next photo is by Melinda. There we go. And the title is Stealth Scooter.
Yeah, so this was it last month. I showed one picture that I had taken of some traffic streaks, and people suggested that I do this sort of thing for the action subject coming up. So I spent an evening taking pictures like this of traffic, and getting some interesting results. This was a scooter. Most of them were not handheld. I don't know if this one was or not. Probably was braced on on a barricade. And yeah, so this was just a moment when a scooter drove by and made all these interesting weird shapes. It's kind of fun to try to figure out what shapes are what. When it comes to the driver, I really don't know.
Or even which direction it's going.
Oh, it's definitely going from left to right.
All right.
So Belinda, did you experiment with different shutter speeds to get the optimum effect, or?
No, I don't have shutter speeds on the hydrogen one. So whatever this was, probably quarter second, eighth of a second, but pretty good for regular traffic speeds.
So again, if you have a loom pad, and this does not apply to you, unfortunately, Melinda, but if you were shooting with a loom pad, this would have been the perfect experiment for the camera app that Jay showed us in the workshop at the beginning of this meeting. A little bit more control. Not that I think you needed it or lost anything in the shot, but Jay, would you say that oh, Jay's tied up right now, but I think that's one of the creative things you can do with that app.
It looks like
Lovely.
the two eyes shot at the same time. I didn't have to fix anything like I did with some of those Christmas lights that I showed before.
Loving the texture and the color on the street there. It looks like a charcoal painting or a charcoal drawing with colored charcoal.
Yeah, on the lower right there, I was getting that in a bunch of pictures. So I think that there might be somehow showing the reflection of a chain link fence behind me, but I don't know how that would be working here.
Well, whatever it is, it looks wonderful. I'm looking at it on the loom pad. Whoops.
That's the
Oh,
timer.
it's even musical right now.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to be strict with the timer here so that we don't stay too late. Bob, but why don't you go ahead and finish your thought? I don't want to step on you.
Oh, no, that's just loving the color and the texture there.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Belinda. Brian, why don't you tell us about this one?
Okay, this is basically, it's another one from what they call the American Le Mans series. This is one of their sort of prototype class cars. This was shot with I think this is an 2006, and this is with a pair of Nikon digital cameras with a remote cable that interconnects the remote control ports. And these have the same interocular as my film camera set, but this is taken like later in the evening. This is a race that goes into darkness. And again, it's panning with the cars, to keep the cars in focus at a low shutter speed. So that's why I like this one a lot, even though some people are against it. It has like the cutout look, and I thought it was really cool, so I saved it.
Yeah, you did an awesome job. I mean, that's just so much blur in the background, and the car is so sharp. You really nailed that in terms of moving with the car. I think it looks great, and it has really good depth too.
Well, yeah, these are taken. This one's taken with a pair of a pair of 50mm lenses. My normal setup for my film cameras was a pair of 28s, but I have 3 pairs of lenses, And the 50 millimeter is sort of optimum for that distance. I have a pair of 85s, and the 85s have too much, the base is too much separation. If you want to get the cars kind of close, the 85s aren't it, because if you get them close, you'll end up cropping one side or the other. So 50 is like optimum if you can get close enough.
And that's not so long that you're necessarily going to get that kind of cutout look or that obvious telephoto look. Would you agree?
Yeah, I have some others that are taken at the same event. This is basically it's a race that goes from the afternoon into the evening, so they run under full lights. And I have some others that are later in the evening that are more streaked, and I like them, but I like this one the best. So that's the one you guys get.
Well, thank you. We'll take it. And just real quick, Brian, you're a Nikon photographer? Do you prefer Nikons? Is that all you shoot with, or do you have more of a collection?
No, actually, for a long time I had my normal camera for shooting motorsports was a Pentax 6x7. I had a couple of them. But yeah, I have 3 sets of Nikons. I have a pair of digitals and a pair of film cameras, and I now have a Nikon full frame digital camera, and I probably have like maybe 14 lenses between all of them. But I also have a pair of Panasonic Lumix full frame cameras that I use for different stuff. I'm kind of agnostic.
That's
I used to use Leicas in the film days, but when I started shooting 3D, it's pretty much all Nikon. I had a W3 Fuji camera for a while, and I played around with it, and it took great stuff by day, but some of my stuff that I shot at night, it was just too noisy.
Yeah, small sensors.
So I gave it to my college. Steve will know. I gave it to the photo cage at Cal Arts for them to use. Hopefully they still got it.
And hopefully they're using it.
Yeah,
thanks, Brian.
hopefully.
Oleg, we have one by you coming up next. Runner takes flight, a la Muybridge. What's the Muybridge connection here?
Muybridge did those flying horses.
Animals in motion.
To show that all 4 legs were off the ground at the same time.
Yeah, right.
To settle a bet, yeah.
Well, they're 2 legs off. So
it's a half a Muybridge.
Runner is flying.
Great action. Did you camp out at this spot long?
Oh yeah, I usually, if it's a good view, I'll stay there for like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, it is a nice view. I love the shadow of the runner also.
Well, that's why you can see that he's off the ground.
I'm angry he's not in the frame. Then it would be like.
Yeah, I was wondering if Oleg was waiting for people to do something in the frame.
To get in the frame.
Did you try that, Oleg?
I don't think I took any in there.
Well, it would be tough to get him all in if he was in that frame. His legs would get cut off. It's kind of cool that he didn't quite make it.
Yeah, there's definitely a momentum in this action. All right, thank you, Oleg.
Thank you.
Bob, I got your email late, but I wasn't able to swap this out. So
It's okay.
I think, regardless, we're all going to want to hear about King Dong. There he is. Or she. Well, I guess it's a king.
Yeah, I always love bad puns. This was shot with the X-Reel and on a recent trip to Chicago. And this guy wasn't scaling Trump Tower, but thought it was appropriate.
Bob,
He's
oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say he was quite a good dancer. I got to do some dancing with him. He was very affectionate.
And what's your impression of the X-Reel Beam Pro? Is this the first Beam Pro photo we've seen from you?
I don't think so. I think there have been some others. I mixed feelings about it. I think it's great to have. I certainly prefer it over the W3 that I used to take out, but not crazy about the wide angle, the extension. I have some that I can show, but the distortion bothers me a bit. I find I like using the video feature of it for a more realistic scene, and then I'll just capture left and right frames on it. This was a movie, actually, that I shot a video, and I just captured the left and right.
It works.
Yeah.
Fun picture.
Bob, what's the video resolution on that camera?
It's HD.
Oh, that's good. Well, HD, I mean, I think because the W3 is 720, which sort of is considered HD, but
no, this
is
yeah,
it
this is
1080?
1080. Yeah.
Yeah.
The W3 is also 24 frames per second, whereas I'm pretty sure the Beam Pro is 30. Did you have to do any upscaling or anything for this, Bob? Were you able to, is this right out of the camera?
No, I did some cropping. I don't recall. I think I actually had to downscale perhaps, or I probably ran it through Topaz Gigapix if it was lower res. I'm trying to output everything at about 2160 height so that I could show it on my TV.
4K TV?
Yeah.
Well, certainly didn't suffer any lack of detail. All right. Thanks, Bob.
Sure.
There we go. Oh. Let me make sure, get these in sync. There we go. I think this one is also by Roberto. Night
Yes.
Lights. Tell us about Night Lights, Roberto.
Well, this was taken the same night as the previous one. This was this bike ride, and well, this was close to vehicles. This was only for bicycles, and I was able to take this into a roundabout here in Mexico City, and all of the lights are bicycles riding. It was really crowded that night, and I like it. This was like everybody going with the customs dancing, and it was a big party in the middle of the city. So I believe this photo reflects the vibe of the night.
Oh, it's excellent. Were your cameras mounted on a tripod to get this?
Yes, this was a 30-second shot, so it's a must to have it on a tripod.
That was going to be my next question: is how long did you expose it for?
Yes, 30 seconds. Yes, this was a long shot. This was with my QX1 and the 16 millimeters. Well, it's a APS-C, so it's equivalent to 24.
Mm-hmm. A bit wide.
Yep.
How do you calculate exposure for something that slow?
Actually, I with these photos, I use the program mode, so the camera do all the math. I only take the shutter speed and the ISO, and the camera do the rest.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
said
the new cameras,
Go
you
ahead.
can just set one parameter and the camera will go, okay, that's what you want. Here's what you get.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, and these light streaks, the green, the red, the yellow, these are from cyclists.
Yes, everybody. Well, that night everybody was with wearing lights and LED, any kind of lights because it was at night, and everybody was using customs and dress up with different characters. So these lights were mounted in the bicycle or wearing by the people in this parade. Well, it was almost a parade, but it was too crowded for for this.
All right. Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you.
We'll hear next from Steve. And I think this features Steve. The title is Magic Papers.
Yeah, that is I, and this is a cheat because I'm pretty much standing still, and so are the papers. You probably can tell. This is a display at the Warner Brothers tour.
Oh,
If you're a fan of movie making but don't care about roller coasters or shows, I recommend the Warner Brothers studio tour, not far from Universal in Burbank, and did that recently. And they have this Harry Potter display, and it's just, they're. I don't even think they're on a piece of glass. I think because they're all kind of attached together, and you just stand there and take a picture. I actually I have a cha-cha of this too, but not, I'm not in it. So I was just going to cha-cha of the paper. But it looks like action.
yeah, it's a special effect.
Right?
And it's a nice frame for you also. It's nice to have the subject clearly defined here. But so the papers in the foreground, which are kind of at the window, are these all flat or are they
Yeah,
dimensional?
they're flat, rendered to look like they're curved, or it's all like a multi-plane effect on Disney's camera. Um, they're flat. But I like that there's a mirror in there, so you get a little extra dimension.
If you wanted to spend the time, you could cut out some of those and move them forward to give it a little more 3D.
That you could, yeah. I can see a couple that would work for that.
Wouldn't
This
even have to clone. You could just take one out, cut it out, and then place it on a separate layer and have it coming closer.
Yeah.
Take a bunch of pictures of other paper and just put that in the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need a studio tour for this. Just hurl a bunch of paper in the air and Set
Well, you
yourself
could do
timer. Hope you
that
get it
too.
right.
Yeah.
It's actually maybe I'll steal that idea.
You're welcome to it.
Thank you, Steve.
It would be appropriate for an animator to do that. I think.
Yes.
I think Winsor McKay kind of made fun of how many drawings it takes to make an animated film way back in the early 1900s.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I've seen those Gertie the Dinosaur shorts, and they always have the gag with the animator and the stack of cards, and it's always a he, of course, and he's carrying them, and he drops them, and, you know. Okay, we're getting a little off topic here. Let's move forward. We're going to skip number 17 for now by Alfred, because I do want to hear from him. And Alfred, are you with us? I don't think so. I don't see his name. I really do want to hear from him, so we'll wait. We will move on to photo number 18, which is by Melinda. And Traffic Comb is the title.
Yeah, I didn't know what to title it, so this is what you get. If anybody has any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. This one just really stood out because of this crazy, I don't know if it was a brake light or what, but the dark shadow on the right is the car or SUV kind of thing, I guess. And the light sketched out this really interesting pattern. And then of course down below we have brake lights or license plate light. I don't know what that is. But lots of color.
Reminds me of a light painting.
Yeah, these are all light paintings. This one
Technically,
especially
they are,
with this complicated figure that it's making.
Melinda, when you process this, does it always put the white frame around it? The frame lines around the image?
No, I put them on sometimes when I think it helps, especially when any sort of sizable amount of the border is, if the subject around the border is black,
Yeah.
then it really helps.
So what did you use to put it on there?
Oh, Stereo Photo Maker. It's got
Okay.
a nice bordering functionality.
Yeah, because I always wonder if I should put white borders on some of my stuff.
Now, I'm not sure who you are. Did you do the racing cars?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about that for that last one that we saw. I think it would have helped. I would have just cropped off about a bit at the bottom, but I did actually experiment with a border for you. I thought it looked pretty good.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Yeah, worth playing with. Very effective, Melinda. Thank you.
Thank you.
And speaking of Brian, CLK is the title that I have for this. Tell us all about it. Oh, Brian, you're muted. I'm going to have to ask you to start all over.
Okay,
There
it's
we
basically
go.
CLK is the name of the car. It just helps me separate everything out. These are taken at in 97 and 98, they ran one of the world sports car championship races at Laguna Seca. And this is taken with film cameras, and these are taken with the 85 millimeters. the car is going slow enough, I was able to stay with it, going down with kind of panning with it. And this is at a relatively high speed, as you can tell by the way the wheels spokes are kind of stopped. And some of the ones I shot with the 85s, they don't have good separation. This one worked better than some of the others. The 85s make it harder because of the fact they're closer to the car. You know, the car's larger in the frame. So I kind of abandoned using them for certain stuff after a lot of tries. But this is shot on the Nikon film cameras, the paired Nikons.
Well, it's not excessively telephoto, in my opinion. You know, the car is rounded. It has, you know, a good shape to it. It's not like a cardboard cutout or anything.
Yeah, the thing is with the cars have to be a certain distance away because, like I said, the interocular spacing of the cameras preclude them being too close. But getting the car to behave properly on the racetrack is tough stuff. They don't really listen to what I want to do, but I shoot them anyway.
Yeah, that's an interesting effect in the wheel spokes too, I guess. Is that a bit of, am I seeing a bit of like a synchronization error there? Is that what I see?
Yeah, this was taken at a higher shutter speed. Sort of the max is around 250th. So this is probably at a 250th. And at that, you start to see discrepancies between the left and the right eye. And because the revolution, the wheels are turning, that's the part that's going to make it stand out as having an error. So you might see the kind of what I call the blinking effect between the left and the right eye. But above that, it becomes way more pronounced. This is kind of sort of the max speed you can really use.
Yeah, if you're tracking the car, then whatever spoke or part of the wheel is closest to the ground is going to basically stand still, and the top part of the wheel will be going fastest.
Yeah, the rotational speed of the tires is what causes, you know, there's some that look correct, but the tires like spinning at a sort of a different exposure on the left and the right eye. And in some cases, I just let it slide because I like the shot. In other cases, it sort of conflicts too much and I have to lose it.
Well, the synchronization isn't so loose that the car is like floating. The whole car is floating or kind of embedded in the roadway. It's just this really minor and not necessarily detracting sort of effect in those wheels. It's very nice. Thanks, Brian. Time's up. Okay, thank you. Still getting used to this timer. Let's move on to one by Oleg. There we go. The title is Spectators Watch a Beach Frisbee Contest.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody could see the frisbee.
That's right in the middle. Looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a good moment too.
It helps that the frisbee is in front of the person with the red or the orange shirt.
I like how in the ground right below the frisbee is a little explosion of sand, probably where a person used to be.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of archway there? I'm trying to figure out what that is.
Yeah, it's an arch.
What is the purpose of that?
I had no idea.
Okay.
Maybe a goal or something.
Could be a goal. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. I don't know this kind of frisbee, but yeah.
Maybe it's
I
a
mean, it
time.
looks like ultimate frisbee, and for that you can just mark out some corners. But
Could
I
be
don't
a time. Could be a time portal. These are frisbee players from the future.
Guardian of Forever. Well, it's great that you have the spectators in the foreground, Oleg. That gives us some layers to navigate through this stereo photo. Really distinctive foreground, middle ground, and background elements with the background people right there at the water's edge.
You don't find that distracting? I sometimes take out things that don't add in the picture.
What do you guys think?
Oh, it absolutely adds to the composition to me.
No, it's not distracting.
Not distracting at all. No, I mean, they're perfectly positioned. They don't block any of the action. Like, and they're clearly, focused on the action.
No, I'm actually in the middle of a Zoom meeting. Can I call you back? Are you going to be up?
Sounds like Bob's
You got an
I like-
emergency call.
I like the people in the foreground. They definitely help make it give it more depth.
yeah, I agree. It's compositionally important. I mean, without it, it would be very flat. You could zoom in or something, I suppose, but altogether, it's a more interesting composition.
Very successful. Thank you, Oleg.
Thank you.
There we go. Bob, if you're with us, I muted you, so you'll need to unmute yourself. We would love to hear about Pam rollerblading.
Yeah, this was shot with that double rig, the FX3, the Miller Brothers twin Yashicas, and Pam was used to work for us when we had All Night Media, and she was an avid rollerblader, and let me photograph her doing some maneuvers.
Wow.
In Berkeley. And this has been a good excuse to go back to these film archives and digitize some of them.
Yeah. So did you just recently scan or digitize?
Yeah, no, I
here?
scanned this on Maryland's flatbed scanner.
It looks great.
Yeah, well, again, I did run it through Topaz to sharpen it a bit.
So you're running it through Topaz. Do you use any, like dust removal, grain removal tools?
No, I haven't really looked at the manual that well on her flatbed scanner. I'm sure there's things like ice and things, but I prefer to just do it as basic as I can. And I do want to try to get some sharper images because the scans were not that as sharp as this is.
It's really hard to get sharp images with the flatbeds.
Yeah.
Because I tried like 3 different times and they all have like issues. And the best you can do is put the film directly down on the platen with no holder or anything to get the absolute sharpest focus. And I found that it actually works the best. I've actually resorted to taping my 6x7 negatives and slides directly to the glass in order to get them as close as possible.
Yeah, I don't know if this has any kind of a focusing feature. I'd hate to have to unmount all of those slides
Yeah, that's
and
the other issue.
and remount them.
No, you don't want to go there.
No. I've had various ways of actually, one way I found I have a Bessler dual mode slide copier that I've mounted my Sony mirrorless camera to, and I've had some good results with that.
Well, going back to Nikon for a second, Nikon makes a little screw-in adapter that goes on the end of a macro lens. Costs like $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes both mounted slides and negatives in 35, and it can get really good results. And it's dependent on the camera you mount it to, but I use it with a mirrorless Panasonic camera, a full frame one, and it can give really spectacular results, resolving down to the grain. And if you have that Bessler adapter, it can pretty much do the same thing. It becomes all dependent on what lens you have attached and the quality of the camera you put it on. So,
right.
And I found it better than, I have a couple of, well, actually just one now. I had flatbed scanners for a while, and I tried every which way. And 35 always had an issue because, like you said, they're mounted. And you can't really get them close enough to the platen to get them really sharp.
I may try to run these on the Bessler and see the comparison, see if it's that much.
You should be able to see the grain.
Yeah.
That dude, I forgot whose Facebook group he's in. That dude, Vlad, he sells a test chart. And it does that stuff up to at least 4K.
We're being played off.
Yeah,
I would like to talk to you more about this because I've tried a lot of different ways.
You can send me an email, or I can turn you on to the info, because I spend a lot of time figuring out scanning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Brian, if you have any information about that, you can send it directly to Bob. If you want to send it to me, I can forward it, or you can stick it in the chat also if you have it handy. But if we have time at the end of the slideshow, maybe we'll come back to this discussion. It sounds like there's some great knowledge here to share. Until then, and I will say thank you for putting up with the timer. I usually don't use it, but we have such a big slideshow. We're doing great on time. We've got about 45 minutes left in the meeting, and we're about 3/4 of the way done. So I don't want to rush anyone, but I don't want to make us feel obligated to sit here until 10 o'clock. That said,
we appreciate the music on your timer too. At least it's not like 1-800-CAR for kids or something.
Well, it's this is like a Zoom app. They give me I've got all sorts of options. Some might be a little more direct than others, but I'll have to experiment with those. Pencils Down is the title of this tune. But enough of that. Next is one by Roberto. Playing with Fire is the title.
Yes, this was a month ago. This was Katrina's, this woman dressed as the dead here in Mexico City. And they were using this textile, like fans, and I took this with also, this was taken with my pair of RXOs, and also I took it with program mode. I set the slowest speed. It was, I believe it's 1/4 of a second. And the ISO, it was 100, and the camera did the rest. And I took several photos of this, of her, and this was, I really like the result of this one. I edited with Affinity Photo, and I like the result.
Oh, I love it. It's a fantastic form. I highly recommend that you zoom in a bit to show the lovely details in the flame.
Yeah, well, this was, I believe, 30 a megapixel photo because both of the each camera it's a 15 megapixels. So
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's just yeah, I want to see more of the flame, and then there's some um, window violations on the left, so you probably want to chop away some of that.
yeah, yes, I should have cropped it, I believe.
Yeah, you can still use it though. I mean, it's just zooming in a little bit. It's it really shows this lovely texture.
Yes.
And such great color too, and the contrast against the sort of cold blue-gray architecture and this hot red and yellow. And I love the
Yes.
detail in that door, those highlights. I guess we can see some light from behind.
Well, yes, the door behind it was a glass, so it is a reflection of the sky behind me.
Yeah.
And fortunately the all the background and the stairs were like the same tone, so I playing with the channels, I could turn it a little bit blue and get the contrast with the dress and these textiles playing with her hands. So it was a fortunate shot.
Very successful. Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you.
Right on time.
Right on time. Hey, we're getting good at this. Let's take a look at one by Steve next. Mary Go Round, Mary Go Round, is the title of our next stereo photo.
Yeah, probably not hard to figure out why it's called that. This is the one I was referring to that just as I was getting ready to snap this picture, a woman moved over and blocked a third of the picture, really pretty much most of Bert's leg, and all the way until almost touching Mary's horse. So I had to, separate the people in the background and the horse and riders and stuff to basically clone the eye that had more information in it, and then actually took some information from other pictures I took at the same time that weren't as well composed, and was able to reconstruct the missing stuff. I think it came out pretty good.
Oh, it's almost perfect. I wouldn't have noticed. I mean, now that I'm looking closely, there's a little diagonal line sort of below his leg.
Did you
Okay.
replace? Yeah.
Yeah,
The front wheel.
Yeah.
Between the two wheels. So like see the shadow of that drum like thing? The edge of the shadow has a bit of, the missing person or something.
There's a bit of a seam or something.
You see it? You see it? But it's tiny. I would never.
I was pretty much hoping that, if you didn't know, you probably wouldn't see it.
No, I would have had no idea. How did you do that? I mean, that sounds like a tremendous amount of work.
I did it in Affinity. No,
Oh,
I
so
just, yeah, go ahead.
there was the some AI assist?
No, I don't use any of that. I mean, not that I'm completely against it. I'm curious about
Okay.
it. But no, you know how I took those pictures of Fantasia and turned them into 3D. It's pretty much the same thing. I had a good amount of the picture from the right eye. The left eye was where she was blocking. She's blocking both, and then I got some part like the wheel on Bert's horse. I don't want to get too much into the weeds because we're going to hear that guitar music again. But yeah, I took pieces from the right eye and pieces from some other pictures. And I think I might have taken, a wheel and flipped it and then darkened part of it. There we go.
Yeah, well,
That's
very
it.
successful,
I would just
Steve.
quickly suggest cloning out that right chip in the lower left corner.
Which part?
The bright white areas in the right chip in the lower left corner. You
Just
see it
a
on the
few
right chip, you don't
pixels.
see it on the left. It kind of stands out being bright white like that.
Good
Yeah,
idea.
it's just some
Okay.
artifacts in the right eye, lower left corner. Very
And-
well done, Steve.
Thanks.
Masterfully
Thank you.
done.
Thank
And
you.
in stereo, stereo is so unforgiving when it comes to these kinds of edits. Okay. We will skip Alfred's water snake for now until he's here to tell us about them. And we will move on to a stereo photo by Melinda, When Scooters Attack.
Yeah, this was a real surprise. I had taken almost this exact photo in 2018. Same exact puddle, same location, same composition, and it involved scooters. And in that one, it was a family that were on 3 scooters that were going along the outside of the puddle there, and showing their reflections, and it worked out really well. And this time, this guy on the scooter just decides to make a big splash. He saw me squatting there with the camera, and he didn't completely soak me, but I wouldn't even have minded if he did. I got a few stray drops, but it really made the shot. The spray is the real star of the show, and I got lucky with the surface of the puddle too. In this case, it's almost glass. In my previous one, it was kind of ripply, and I got a nice moon in there for free, and good golden hour light in both versions. But yeah, I love that it did this. I was kind of thinking after the first one, maybe I should try to talk somebody into doing that with scooters or bicycles or whatever, but I never did. And now I think I may actually do that.
Look for a volunteer model to splash you.
Yeah, like a pair of bicycles, I think I'll probably look for. People are pretty happy to help out. I'm just going to be bold and see what I can make happen. But this one was totally unscripted, and I happened to catch it just right too.
Were you waiting at that point? Were you staking out this composition and waiting for someone to ride by?
Probably, judging by looking in the background, there's nobody else coming, so I probably squatted down just for them, and he probably saw that.
Yeah, I'm guessing you were targeted in that splash for all of our benefit. It's an amazing photo. Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm beginning to like it. Brian, let's turn back to you. These aren't cars. This is Harlem Nutcracker.
these are a guy I know. He's was a dance teacher at the college I worked at. He staged Harlem version of the Nutcracker with his dance troupe, and they let me come down and shoot their full dress rehearsal. So I had access to the basically setting up right in front of the stage with these are done with film, my Nikon film cameras. And this is a scene where they had fake snow, and I really liked the way it came out. Of course, they had their full lighting set up and everything, and it was it was more fun than I'd had in a while filming performances.
Oh, that snow makes the shot for me.
Oh yeah, snow is a great subject for stereo.
So when you filmed this, I assume you didn't film the whole thing in 3D.
No, it's like 3 acts, and I shot about maybe 5 rolls of the 3 acts, and they were just doing a full dress, so they didn't stop for me. I was basically just along for the ride. I had permission from the choreographer, which is Donald Byrd, to shoot it, so no one bothered me. And I was set up basically where the orchestra pit would be, and I used both a pair of 28 millimeters and a pair of 50 millimeter lenses on 35 millimeter film cameras. And they were all shot with a tripod, which allowed me to get, relatively good stability and not have to worry about, hand holding at low shutter speeds. Because some of them were, we're like 25th or 30th of a second, in some cases wide open, depending on the actual scenes.
You've got deep focus throughout the stage. Do you recall what your f-stop would have been?
It wouldn't have been anything higher than 4 or 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
When I was shooting with the 28s, the 28s have inherently more depth of field.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like the go-to lens that I normally use, but the 50 allows you to get more separation on the stage. So the 50s are 1/8. So if you stop them down to like say 4 or 5, 6, you can actually get relatively good depth of field if you're not too close.
Well done. Thank you, Brian. Okay. Oleg, I've got one by you coming up next. Some nice action here of two women view shadow of a partial solar eclipse.
I walked by this and my camera wasn't set up for the picture, so I had way too much depth. So I decided to put most of the stuff forward, like it's almost like a phantogram. I don't know if it works or not.
Well, I can tell you, Oleg, and it's interesting that you mentioned phantogram. It's a bit too extreme for me on my loom pad, but it's very nice on the Anaglyph live stream, kind of as if it were a phantogram. It's in front of the window. It has that kind of hologram effect that you would get from a phantogram. How does it look on your TV, Oleg? Are you viewing it on your large screen?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt the eyes.
Yeah, and that's some action too. All right. Well, thank you, Oleg.
Thank you.
Okay, let me see. Where are we here? I might have these out of order. No, I see. This is Bob's Whale Off the Bow Baja is the title.
Bow.
Bow. Thank you. Whale Off the Bow Baja.
It's also bow.
Bird bow.
So what kind of whale is it?
That's a gray whale calf. This was taken in San Ignacio Lagoon in Baja. And I believe this is with my stereo realist custom.
Nice. Great color.
It was a great experience.
It would be a much less impressive photo without the dinghy of spectators behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how you compose that.
We try our best.
Are you in another dinghy in front of that whale, I hope?
Yeah, these were Zodiacs that we took out. No, I wasn't in the water. I was in a dinghy, yes. But as I said, it's an amazing experience. This is after the females have calved, and they become, for God knows what reason, accustomed to humans after all we've done to them. And they will bring the calves up to these boats and let you pet them.
Wow.
You can touch their baleen. They're just amazing. They look you in the eye. It's like going to another planet.
Yeah, great shot. If I could make a suggestion, maybe retitling it Gray Whale Calf.
That's one of the
Put a-
titles I've used, yeah.
Yep.
Suggestion accepted.
And this is another recent scan, recent digitation.
This one was with the Bessler dual mode, I believe.
Yeah, very effective.
It also falls in the square image special category.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Good eye. So I guess you would have cropped a little bit off the top or the bottom, Bob. If this was a realist, it would have been a little bit more. Okay. You got some nice spray coming from the calf as well. Great 3D effect. All right. Thank you, Bob.
Sure.
All right, our next photo is by Roberto. Spotter is the title. And I've turned the timer off. I appreciate everyone's focus. We're doing great on time, so I don't want to make anyone feel pressured. So, Roberto, tell us about this very interesting stereo composition.
Well, yes, this was also, I took this 2 weekends ago. It was the same ride, the bike ride. And this was taken with my QX1s, also the 16 millimeters. And this was 4 seconds, the shutter speed. And also I use a flash, a strobe, to get this guy that was taking photos of the bicycles or the cyclist to freeze him, and also got a little bit of movement with the other spectators.
He looks like a ghost.
Yes, I took the flash. I shoot it, and he was like, "What the hell happened?" And he moved, so he let me get that effect.
Tell us, Roberto, how you used that flash. Was the flash synchronized to the cameras, or since this was a long exposure, did you do the flash separate?
I use it separately. I took the shot, and 4 seconds is a long time, so shot first the camera, and then the flash after that, and he moved, and then he let the background go through the sensor a little bit.
That's a very creative solution.
Yes, I was playing with different speeds, different apertures. This 16 millimeters is a 2.8 f-stop, so I can play with the depth of field or more light or less light. So it was a very interesting night that night. And many people were asking what kind of photo I was taking, and they were interested on the setup.
I'm sure you explained to them all about stereo. And do you have an online gallery? I know you have an Instagram account. Are you sharing these anyway else?
Well, I have a website, but I haven't set up like a gallery. I have to work on that. And the main channel that I use is Instagram and YouTube for video.
And Golden Gate Stereoscopic Society, of course. Keep
yes. Well,
keep
of
them
course,
coming.
Of course. Yes. Well, as a permanent display setup, it's are those social media.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Well, thanks, Roberto.
Thank you.
And our final image for tonight is by Steve. Oh. A little out of sync here. Hang on a sec. All right, well, we almost got through the slideshow without a meltdown. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's see. Steve, the title I have is Water Wave.
Yes, these are some monks, I guess. This is from the Thai temple in North Hollywood, and I actually it was again with the W3, and I rarely use the zoom on that, but I did here, because the zoom takes away some of the depth. But I wanted to get he's just watering, and the water makes this sort of S curve. So I did a little bit of work on bringing down the highlights. Obviously, they're still too hot, but they were. And I ran this through Topaz just like Bob does, because it wasn't quite sharp, but it helped a little bit. And since I'm the last picture, I will say that I am having a great deal of difficulty picking out 3 that are outstanding, because I'm overwhelmed by, not this picture, of course, but the pictures I've seen tonight. There are at least a dozen that are just as good as the 3 that I've picked. So just everyone bravo to you people who have done these amazing things with the tools you have.
Well, that'll mostly get taken care of with ranked choice voting, because then, any photo that everybody liked will get its due, even if it's not,
Don't be so
the winner or
scientific.
whatever.
I'm paying a compliment.
No, it's great, but the nice thing is it's going to get better.
It is, yes. This is a good problem to have. I was absolutely thrilled today when we saw that we have such a large selection tonight. We had some challenging special subjects this year. I think action is a little more fun, and I think we all probably have some action shots at our archive as well. Steve, one thing I'll say, the W3, it's got that zoom. You may not use it very often, but it's a real zoom. It's an optical zoom, and it's not something that the Beam Pro has, optical or digital or otherwise. So I think it's effective here.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And you're absolutely right. There's too much reliance on digital zoom. I mean, it's getting better and better, and now they're using AI to sharpen it, and the AI is getting better. But there is just something special about optical zoom, and there's definitely some depth in this picture.
Mm-hmm.
So I may use the zoom more.
I don't know if you tried, but I just tried now with the auto color adjustment, because the left image was a little washed out, and Stereo Photomaker will actually fix that very nicely.
I almost always use that.
Yeah, check it out. It would have helped on this one.
Yes, I believe it's a flare from the sun.
Yeah, I can see what you're. Yeah, maybe I forgot, or maybe I usually go from Stereo Photomaker into Affinity, and don't go back to Stereo Photomaker. So I don't know. Maybe something happened along the way, or maybe I just forgot to do it. Normally I do, but yeah. Thanks for the suggestion. I may work on this some more. Can definitely
Yeah.
get it better.
And if you do, be sure to show it to us.
All right.
Well, thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
That does conclude our slideshow, but we're not done. I would like everyone, if possible, to participate in the poll. I think most of us know how this works. You can, if you're at your computer, you can go to the straw poll website. There's also a QR code here. If you'd like to take the poll on your tablet or smartphone, I'm going to go through the slideshow again. I'll name the maker and the title. I'll just spend a moment or two on each one just to remind us what we've seen. And then we'll spend a minute or so making our selections, and I'll show the results. I'll show this slide at the end of the slideshow review also, in case you missed this information. But let's go through them. This one by Jay is not in the poll, but it is very nice, so I'll mention it anyway. Long Exposure Test by Jay. BMX Bike Show by Matt. I'm going to skip Alfred's because I would like him to share with us how he made these and the story behind them. We'll move on to number 4, Crush Me Cars by Melinda. AMLS 03 by Brian. And Brian, I'm calling it that because that's the title in the poll. Man in a Ventura Alley exits his car by Oleg. Boxers 3 by Bob. Ghost Among Us by Roberto. Abu Simbel Street Scene by Steve. We'll skip Swimmer for now and move on to Stealth Scooter by Melinda. AMLS 06 by Brian. Runner Takes Flight a la Muybridge by Oleg. King Dong by Bob. Night Lights by Roberto. Magic Papers by Steve. We'll skip over The Return To for now and move on to Traffic Comb by Melinda. CLK by Brian. Spectators watch a beach frisbee contest by Oleg. Pam Rollerblading by Bob. Playing with Fire by Roberto. Merry-Go-Round by Steve. We'll skip Water Snake for now and go on to When Scooters Attack by Melinda. Harlem Nutcracker by Brian. Two Women View Shadow of a Partial Solar Eclipse by Oleg. Whale Off the Bow, Baja. Spotter by Roberto. And Water Wave by Steve. Before we make our selections, if you haven't already, Melinda, I'll reach out to you, and I'm thinking also about Steve's comments. Would it make sense if we gave everyone 4 selections tonight instead of 3, given the volume of selections that we have?
It would help a little bit for sure, except that all the votes are equal. So with ranked choice, people are
Right.
expressing the different levels of
Well, I'll
of their,
tell you what,
of their
yeah,
opinion.
ranked choice is basically better, is definitely better. For tonight, I just set the poll to allow us to select 4 rather than 3 images, and I think this will at least give us a little more clarity and help us make our selections. So let's
Well,
go
some
ahead.
of us have already voted, so I think
Have
we
you
won't be
already
able
voted?
to do that.
Let's see.
It's
Can you
not
go
allowing
back?
us a 4th.
It's not allowing you. Okay, sorry about that. I guess I should have done that earlier. Let me set it back to 3. I probably should have thought of that earlier today. Okay, sorry, forget
No
it.
problem.
It's back to 3 now. So for those who have not made your selections, if you can, on your computer, your phone, your tablet, please pick your top 3 from tonight's special action stereo slideshow, and I'll show the results. Let's take a minute or two to do that. And actually, I need to do that myself. While we make our selections, I will announce a couple things. Now, I do plan a meeting or meetings in December. Traditionally, well, it's not so much tradition anymore. In the past, we did not meet in December, and I think last year was the first year we did. And I'm certainly open to it. It's something that I want, but I just want to make sure that people will be available. It's getting, to be the holidays. Our next scheduled meeting would be Tuesday, December 2nd, with our special on Tuesday, December 9th. The special subject for December is landscapes. No, I'm sorry. It's scapes. Landscapes, seascapes, cityscapes, moonscapes, any kind of scape. For those who are here, will you be able to make December's meeting? I would just want to make, thanks, Jay. I just want to make sure everyone's not going out of town or something like that. All right. Steve gives me a thumbs up. Great.
I'm pretty sure I'll be around. So
Fantastic. Yeah, please join us. All right. Does anyone need more time making their selections? I'll just give it another 20 seconds before I show the results. And incredibly, with all of the selections that we had, we're managing to finish on time. Brian, you were mentioning an attachment for digitizing slides or negatives. Did you have any information about that you can send us? I'd love to know more about that also.
yeah, I can get the model number. I actually bought one because I didn't believe it was too cheap, but it actually works great. And it's basically a Nikon screw-in adapter. It's designed to go on I think the 60 millimeter macro lens, but it can actually work on any macro lens that will accept the filter size. And it takes a couple of different sizes. And it comes with a little carrier for slides and a carrier for negatives. And you just put it up against any kind of something approximating 5,500 degree Kelvin light. I have a negative supply light box, and that's what I use it with. But I've since moved to way more complex setup where I use basically made a copy stand. And because I need to be able to shoot 6x7s as well as 35. And I just used photo negative carriers now, which works great. And it holds stuff very flat.
Well, your scans look amazing. I mean, they look like they were shot yesterday. I'm very impressed.
Well, I just recently went back and started doing my realist format stuff. And for that, you need like kind of a longer macro lens to get the magnification to get them big enough. And my copy setup lets me do that. It's kind of time consuming though, because the realist negatives and slides are so small, but they work. Yeah, I can send you the info. I'll email it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You can pass out to whoever wants it, along with some other reference stuff that I come across.
I'd
I
really
spend a lot of
appreciate
time
that.
trying to scan stuff, as you can
Yeah.
imagine.
It seems like you're the expert. No hurry, no pressure, but I'd certainly love to share that information.
Yeah, I turned a few of my friends onto it because of the fact there are no more real scanners out there. And, to take it and have it done commercially, it's just not viable,
Yeah.
especially if you have lots of material.
I have a film scanner. I don't have a computer that's old enough to run it.
Well, yeah, that's
my
another problem.
Right. Speaking of sharing, let's share the results. Let me just refresh this real quick in case some late votes came in. We'll call first a tie between Roberto's Playing with Fire and Melinda's Wind Scooter's Attack. Well done. We'll call second between Brian's, I'll call it AMLS06. I know there's more to the title than that. And Bob's Whale Calf. And we'll call Oleg's Rudder Takes Flight a la Muybridge and Brian's Harlem Nutcracker is third. All right. Great slideshow tonight. Thank you, everyone, for participating. And thank you for putting up with the timer. I know it's kind of obnoxious, and I don't like to stop people from talking about their photos, but I think it paid off tonight because we won't be here all night. Before we call the meeting?
It totally worked, and
Yeah.
I think it was kind of growing on us too.
Yeah. This is something I've done before that I kind of fell out of the habit, and I realized tonight, let's give it a try. So maybe I'll pull it out again.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
All right. And I'll try to shut up also. I know that's a big reason why our meetings sometimes run late. So that's a personal goal of mine for 2026. Thank you, everyone. I will see you on December 2nd. Until then, have a good one. Good night, all. Bye.